What's up everyone, Lion Roar here, and we've got the GULTUNG clan back for a second time. So today I'm going to break them down and analyze them because I have both of the mythics and I've been using them since the first round, so I can help you decide if they're worth going after this time. But first, download Bloodline Heroes of Lithas, a mobile RPG action fighting game where you can marry your champions to create new and unique hybrids. Use the link in the description to start with some free stuff, including golden diamonds. And I'd be honored to have you join my server so you can play alongside me. Simply click on your profile, settings, then change your server to S462. See you hopefully soon. Alright, so spoiler alert, I think that both the male and the female GULTUNG are absolutely amazing. I have rated them very highly in my champion tier list, so make sure to go check out that video if you haven't seen it yet. But I am going to talk individually about each of these, so if you're trying to decide between the male or the female or whether to go for the companion, which is what I did so that I could keep leveling them highly, you have all the information you need. So let's start with the male. And I will do test videos of both the male and the female at the end, so you can at least see how they play. But as far as the male goes, let's take a look at the ultimate first. It's Hunter's Howl. Enters a state of bloodthirst for 7 seconds, increasing attack speed by 350% with all normal attacks causing critical damage, knocking the target back for a short distance and healing the champion by 100% of the damage dealt. This effect cannot be removed. And I'll tell you what, when that ult goes off, I mean, it is just crazy. This guy is attacking so fast. And because he's pushing the enemy away, if you're up against bosses, either, through the raid function or, through expeditions or whatever, then you're going to keep that boss away from basically hurting your team, which I think is really, really important. Plus, he does have some crowd control effects here as well. Let's keep reading on. So fires a volley of arrows that constantly deals damage equal to 233% of strength per second to the target and nearby enemies. The volley of arrows also inflicts silenced to all targets for 2 seconds and reduces their movement speed by 80% and attack speed by 40%. This effect lasts for 3 seconds. Guys, that's amazing, and it's super underrated. Like, if you watch him, if you're facing him, he is really hampering your team's ability to function, but you're not necessarily going to put 2 and 2 together and recognize that. Now, I do want to note while I'm going over these stats, these are at like max stats, okay? So it takes a while to get up here. These are all level 15, but of course I like to go over the max stats to see, is it worth it to put all these resources into a hero like this? All right, and then the last passive here is Predator's Instinct. Normal attacks have a 40% chance to be critical, increasing damage by 100%, knocking the target back for a short distance. When you're going up against single enemies, this guy, male GULTUNG, deals so much damage, and his crowd control features are absolutely amazing at helping to keep your team alive too. He is an excellent one, and he goes well in PvP as well. I absolutely enjoy putting him in that team and building around him. There's definitely synergies that you can use that are going to really make him better and take full advantage of what he's doing here. When I look at the stats after any kind of battle that involves him, he's just racking up so much damage. Now, it's not quite like female Travaine. She's just the ultimate boss at that sort of like single enemy damage, but she's also not very versatile. You can't really use her everywhere, but he is way more versatile. I mean, I've even used him in like Guardian Defense where there's just so many waves of enemies coming and he fires so fast, he just picks them all off. Boom, 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 like all dead. Really, really good character. Let me show you what traits I actually put on him too, because I think that that's important to look at. I don't have him as highly leveled as, and I have a hybrid by the way, but I don't have him as highly leveled as the female. But here's what I chose as far as traits. So he has steadfast. I gave him focus and agile actually, because I want the attack speed increase. Like, the attack speed's already fast. Like, let's make it even faster and do more damage. But I also want that ult to go off, and I want the ult to keep going off. And then other than that, I decided to go with brutal and honorable. Absolutely, if you feel like just keeping him in the back row, I think it's perfectly fine to go with fierce instead of honorable. He must have brutal though. That's like imperative. There's an argument also to be made for maybe putting energetic on him instead of honorable or fierce, but that's up to you. He does gain life, whenever he is attacking, and so that would be the argument for putting energetic on there. If you have a higher ceiling as far as health that you can gain, it just means that he's going to have much more room to gain health through a match there. All right, so let's go take a look at the female. Again, we're going to jump into the renowned champions here to see her and at her max stats. The ultimate Woven Spear hurls a javelin at each of the enemies, dealing damage equal to 450% of strength and also additional damage based on the target's current energy. For each 1% less energy the target loses, damage is increased by 0.6%. All right, let me tell you something. I know we've seen higher percentage damage on champions in this game, but like when I look at the stats at the end, she is dealing damage like unbelievable amounts of damage. In fact, I originally, before we had all of these different champions in the game, had a very much a nuke team that consisted of like female Ignis and male Fulgur, and I had them leveled up. Basically, everything was meant to just make them deal as much damage as possible. Then female GULTUNG comes along. Excuse my stumbling over the words there. Female GULTUNG comes along, and she, when I level her up, just deals as much, if not more damage than those two in my nuke team. So she's absolutely incredible. Absolutely can be used in PvP. Can be used against the raid bosses. Like, she doesn't even seem like one, because she hits all opponents. She doesn't even seem like one that can necessarily hold up against the single bosses. But yes, she does, because she reduces their energy. Let's take a look at these passives. Hurls javelin at enemies in a pie-shaped area in front of the champion, dealing damage equal to 450% of strength, consuming 200 energy. Also inflicts an energy mark on the target that expires in 8 seconds. When the marked target is killed, the Lycan gains 100 energy. So now she's going off faster too. And Persistent Hunter. Normal attacks drain the target's energy by 80%, or I should say 80 points. If the target is marked by the Lycan, the energy drained by normal attacks is increased by 50%. I don't even have her fully leveled up yet, but I'm telling you, when I go against those big bosses, raid bosses, or whatever, they do not fire their specials ever. She's the ultimate like control champion against them. They only get regular attacks the entire time. She is a single champion to control the opponent. In fact, like they've released, especially recently, tanks and warriors that have a whole lot of crowd control features to them, and they still are not as good as female GULTUNG at that. She is one of the best champions in the game. In fact, I'm beginning to think I may not have rated her highly enough in my champion tier list, because the more I play with her, the better she is. All right, let's do some testing in the arena with her. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, I do want you to see what I chose for her. I mean, it's very similar to what I chose for the male as far as traits go, but we got focused, agile, brutal, honorable. Same basic setup there. I personally regret putting honorable on her a little bit in certain situations. I wish I would have put fierce on her to just go all in on like the nuke style. However, there are situations where I appreciate that I did put honorable on her. Let me give you an example of this. It's not intuitive, but oftentimes you're going to want to place her on your defense, like right in front of, or your attack team, whatever, right in front of the most problematic champion on the other side. And sometimes that means you're putting her in the front row. So at least there she can take some damage for a bit as she's using her abilities to control the opponent. So there is that. Okay, now let's try the arena. Let's start with the male, and this is not my top team because I want a relatively even match here. This is really mostly my second team, but I want you to notice where I placed the male GULTUNG, which by the way is a hybrid, that's why he has wings. I put him behind their female Divala because I want to try to control her a little bit. Remember, he's going to push her back. I want to keep her away from female Limestone if it works. Now, I do kind of depend on the AI, and he might just pick some other character to try and hit, and that's fine, but I just want to go with the percentages here. He also, remember, silences and some other things like that too. I also have a male Tidestorm who I put next to my male Gultung because he's going to pull opposing champions towards him. Plus, there's that male Samir back there who is going to push up into my champions here. And I want to basically create a little logjam where they're going to get into my female D'Vola's blood pool. Let's see if that works. Okay, I've got it in like a slower motion so we can really watch here. Okay, wow, their female D'Vola went off super fast. Alright, now you can watch the male Gultung here. Watch what he does. He goes crazy. Look at him just finishing everybody off. Oh my gosh, now we gotta wait for that, of course. Alright, and then, of course, male Tidestorm comes in and finishes the female D'Vola. So that's how that worked. Let's take a look at the damage stats here. You can see, by the way, take note, my male Gultung is not nearly as highly leveled as most of the other champions on this particular team. But yeah, look how much damage he's still doing. And remember, he gains life, so you see that a little bit there too. Now, if I could get him leveled up like my male Tidestorm, I think he might do more damage than the male Tidestorm. It's entirely possible. My male Tidestorm is much more highly leveled. So there is that. So, you know, again, that's a really great display of what he does. But let's check out the female next. For this particular setup, I've put the female Gultung in the middle slot. Because I kind of want her across from female Lux to try and control her if possible. Again, I don't really get to choose who she's going to suck energy from. I can just play the odds, though. It's also possible that she may hit that Tidestorm in the back. And those are the two most problematic heroes on the other side there. So that's why I put them here. What I'm hoping for in this particular match is that my female Gultung does enough to kind of control everybody up front. Just long enough for my female Lionstone to go off, and then for my two nukers in the back to finish things off here. Alright, so you can see that my female Gultung is trying to control their female Lux. She hasn't gone off yet. Okay, now she's going off. And she charmed my female D'Vola, which was the right one, but the rest of my team just nuked like I thought they were. Let's see what the stats were here. All right, I will tell you what. So the female Gultung didn't do a lot of damage in this particular one, but oftentimes she's dealing just as much as my male Fulgur. In fact, it actually kind of surprises me here. This male Aeson did a lot more damage than I typically see. But I think what you got to see there is what's probably one of the best features about female Gultung, which is she was able to control that female Lux on the other side, preventing her from going off until basically the match was over. And that is exactly why I have her in this match. When I go into the campaign map or other arena battles or Valley of Conquerors, sometimes you're going to see these stats flipped. Like female Gultung's not only controlling, but sometimes, you know, especially if the female Lionstone goes off right before she does, is dealing an enormous amount of damage, just like the other champions here. So that's what I think about these two. Let me know what you think. I totally think it's worth summoning for these couple of heroes. I know some people are waiting and hoping and praying for the female D'Vola to come back around, and clearly she's the best one in the game. But if you want value, well, I'm going to tell you what. You got the male and the female. If you get the companion with both of these that are going to be absolutely great champions, you can spend a long time going forward leveling. And I think they're fun. These are fun champions to play with. Just my thoughts. All right. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I will catch you in the next one.